If you think that you need to be fully healed to do all the inner work before you can enjoy life, have loving relationships, and just live your life, then you're gonna be waiting forever. And I was stuck in this loop for a long time, and that's why I am making this video, so you wouldn't have to. I used to think that only when I will feel a certain way, heal certain patterns, only then I can have relationships, only then I can enjoy my life, only then I can do X, Y, Z, and so on and so on. And this is part 4 of my 4 parts video series where I share 12 lessons from my 12 years of doing the inner work, healing, and coming back to wholeness. You don't have to watch other videos before you watch this, but if you will enjoy this one, you can definitely go and watch the other videos in the series. So today I will share 3 key takeaways of the 3 lessons that I've realized that was keeping me stuck after I did a lot of inner work. And I was like, okay, I'm feeling kind of better, but not fully there yet. And realizing that I will never be fully there. So number 1 lesson in this video is about connection, that healing happens in connection. And that took me a long time to realize that some wounds can never be healed by myself. Some wounds can only be healed in a relationship. And I can never avoid it. I can never fully heal to prepare for a relationship because I don't know what are the wounds, because only the relationship will bring those out. My only preparation is to feel stable within myself and to feel secure that whatever comes up, I can deal with it as I go. And just to have the tools and the mindset and just the readiness, and to find a partner who's also ready to face those head on. But it's not only about the romantic relationships, finding my partner. It's about friendship in general, because I was so used to being self-sufficient and being only that kind of friend who listens, who supports. But me, oh no, I don't need support, I'm good, I'm self-sufficient, carrying this hero mentality that I talked about in the first video series of this series. And only when I allowed and softened into the connection with others, that's when actually a lot of healing happened, and I could enjoy life so much more and feel so much more connected. And also referencing to the first video in the series is the healing stages, that at some stage, real healing and integration is about reconnecting with others and relearning that, oh, I can be safe with other people, especially if your past wounding was that you were abused by others and you can't trust anyone, which was kind of the case for me, that I was only safe when I would be relying on myself and not sharing my insights with anyone. And that's how I just learned to cope. But that led me to just being isolated. Even though I was around people, I always had friends, but I always felt that I can't share myself authentically with them because that was just not safe. So a big part of my healing journey was to find people with whom I can be vulnerable and I can be not always strong. Because for me, strength was defined in the way that I'm self-reliant. And now strength for me is defined in a way that I can be with this discomfort, and I can be also okay with asking for support from others. So this lesson is really about not having to do it alone, that you can and should seek and look for people with whom you can feel safe and you can connect and heal with them together. But at the same time, there's some caution that needs to be put in here to see if what is the intention of reaching out to others. Are there any other mechanisms like the codependency and always the approval seeking from others that is making you reach out? It's really depending on your own personal journey. For me, it was that I had to be self-reliant, and to reach out would be a sign of weakness. For others, it might be different. So this is just my journey and what I've learned, and for you it might be completely different. So it's really just about examining your own connections, your intimacy, and do you wait to be connected with others when you're fully healed, or are you seeking for others to heal, but in a way that is invalidating your own strength, your own power, your own healing capacity? So just to see what is the connection for you. And that's the practical part that I shared with all the other lessons in the series that I've put in a document that you can reflect on those prompts to see Where are you in your journey? Maybe stuck, or you can allow more expansion, more healing, more opening to happen. The second lesson in this video is about shadow work, because I used to believe healing is all about digging, doing shadow work. But after some time, quite a few years have passed, that I realized, oh, actually, now my work is about how to allow the joy in, because whereas before it was the control mechanisms and safety and the inner critic and self-sabotaging, where now is just I'm afraid to be happy, because I was afraid that if I will be happy and allow my happiness to last, then I will not have any friends because they will not relate to me. I will not be relatable. Or, pleasure that, I was so used to life being always about this digging and figuring out process that I kind of was addicted to it, of, what's another thing I'm uncovering in my healing journey, and I realized this and I felt this and this transformation happened. And after a while of that, I was like, wait, am I just digging for the sake of digging? Because right now, there's nothing to dig. So now what I do is I allow myself to enjoy life. Boom, I know, right? And at the same time, when something triggers me, I go into a little bit of the digging process to see, okay, why is this triggering me? What is it showing about me and my outlook on life and myself? So of course, I'm not neglecting that, but really allowing myself so much more the periods in my life to just enjoy, take pleasure, have fun, and not have to always figure something out about myself and to reach the next stage of healing. Because once I feel like, and what I tell to my clients is that once, you reach the stage where you feel at home with yourself, confident in your capacity to deal with whatever life throws at you, and you've mastered, the self-reflection and understanding how things are happening, you don't have to constantly, life will constantly show you, circumstances and people to show you where you still need to process, if that's your intention, but to not make the whole life about this intention, because then you kind of miss the whole life, if you know what I mean. So the practical part in this is just to reflect on this concept. What part of life are you focusing and kind of basing in your identity? Because for me, it was more about the identity that I was living, that I'm this person who's always, digging deeper and finding new ways where I'm malfunctioning and using protective strategies. And it was kind of my pride in that I'm that kind of person. But I wasn't seeing that I'm missing out on other aspects of my life. So if you are at this stage where you're all about healing and digging, maybe remind yourself that sometimes you can rest from that. So this is just a reminder, not that much of a practical thing, but yes, just to keep reminding yourself that, it's okay. And sometimes there will be harder periods, and sometimes there will be easier periods, and on those easier periods you don't have to keep digging because you're so used to it. Oh, and one more thing I remember now about this one is that a lot of times people are so afraid of their greatness, of having a happy life. So it's not about working with, attachments and your other safety, control, boundary issues, but it's also about what is your relationship with happiness, with allowing yourself to have fun and enjoy? Or do you feel guilty after you've enjoyed and had fun? So yeah, just wanted to take a note of that. And moving now to the third lesson of this video is that healing will never end. And that's what I was alluding to in the other point, is that life will continuously present us those circumstances. And I like to frame it as a relationship. Like, you wouldn't expect to get married with someone and, okay, now we're married and now let's live our happy ever after life, not ever needing to readjust, to check in, to see what's working, what's not working, what the other person needs. So the same with ourselves. It's a relationship that's always evolving. And coming back to the third video in the series, I talked about parts work and internal family systems. It's how it's a relationship with ourselves that's constantly readjusting and learning to attend to those parts. But it's not about the digging shadow work from the second principle, but it's about, okay, it's a relationship. So it's the shift in how we see life and how we see healing. That it's not about, a short period of time where you do the healing work and then you don't. It's about that constant practice. It's a way of life to live in tune with your body, with your emotions, with your mind. That's the way to live in order to have a healthy relationship with yourself and with others. I really learned this lesson when I was living in Bali, and one of my closest friends was 65 years old, and I saw how I kind of had this image that, oh, when you're 65, life is steady, smooth, and there are no more turbulences, no more big realizations about yourself. And as I got to know her, I realized that she's always rediscovering something and finding something new, and like, oh, I forgot this, and allowing myself to live like that. And I'm like, oh, actually, this kind of self-discovery never ends. You always find new layers, but reframing it from, oh, now I have to spend the whole life trying to figure myself out, because no, it's not about that. Like, would you be like marrying someone and, oh, now I have to spend the whole life trying to figure out how to be, in a good relationship with you? Maybe it is if you're not marrying the right person. But I guess you didn't choose to marry yourself. So you are forced to find ways how to navigate your inner workings and to find that stability and that harmony within yourself from all the parts that are fighting within yourself, the inner war. But once you do, which everyone can, because everybody has that core center, that true self from IFS, the true core self, then it's not about fixing yourself. No more fixing. It's just about experiencing life to the fullest, which means it will bring up some stuff. So to implement this lesson in your life, I would highly encourage you to have a journaling practice where you can check in with yourself regularly as you would with your loved ones, and to see how are you feeling, what needs aren't met, how to best approach this or that situation, and just have a practice to tune into and find some inner resourcing. And when life feels harder, take it as a sign for you to explore deeper. Not as a sign that you need to fix yourself, but as a sign of, oh, okay, a new layer of something is showing up. Yeah, so that was the 12th lesson of the whole series. And if you enjoyed this one, I think you would really love the other videos in the series, so you can check them out. And if you would love to work with me personally, you can reach out and I will see how best I can support you in your journey. Have a good day, and I hope to see you in the next video.